Hi guys, it's Dakota. Welcome to the Hallowed Cauldron. Well, we have been working on our chakras. I am doing a 7-week series on each of the 7 chakras. So one chakra each week, and actually doing spell work for that particular chakra. It's something that I've done in the past, and let me just say that when I don't go into a lot of detail with each of the chakras. There are hundreds of YouTube videos on the chakras, several blogs. There are some excellent books out there. 2 that I highly recommend. One is David Pond, and the other is, I can't remember her name now, Honora Judith or something, Aurora Judith. But the name of her book is Wheels of Life, so that's easy to remember. And you could just type in Wheels of Life if you want to find her book. It's an excellent book. It's pretty thick. It's pretty detailed. Now, David has a beginner book. He has a couple of beginner books on the chakras, which are really nice because that helps lead you into it. So it's not just, oh my gosh, there's so much work. In her book, there's like, this much on each of the chakras, and it can be a bit overwhelming if you don't really even know the chakras or understand them. So his book is a really good book to start with. So I recommend that. And so that is the reason why I'm not going into a lot of heavy detail about each of the chakras, because I would just be here for days and days and days giving you details and then trying to show you the work. So today we are actually on chakra number 5. So this is week number 5. And chakra number 5 is our throat chakra, And it is called the Vishuddha. Like I said, I'm probably killing the Sanskrit words, and I do apologize. I don't want anybody to be offended. I'm doing my best to try to get how it's pronounced, and I know that I'm not doing a great job, but I'm trying. Throat chakra. So when we're talking about the chakras, like the throat chakra, we're not talking about the throat itself. Not talking about the throat itself. I'm talking about that spinning energy that is within the throat. Just like all the other chakras. We talked about the heart chakra last week. It's not the heart. The heart is not the chakra. It's called the heart chakra. It's the energy that spins and is associated with the heart. Throat chakra, it spins in the area of the throat and is associated with the throat chakra. Okay. So the throat chakra is one of the passageways where the energy comes in through the top of our head. This is called the crown chakra, and we're going to get there in a couple more videos. But the energy comes in, and it has to pass through the throat chakra, and it goes on down through the other chakras. So it's that chi energy, that ki energy, that prana energy. There's different types of names that energy is called. So whatever you prefer to call it is absolutely fine, as long as you know it is this spinning energy. And if you look back at the root chakra, I talk about how the chakras are explained as far as how they spin and how people see them spinning, etc. So the throat chakra is associated with communication and expression. The throat chakra obviously is sound, because with our throat and our words, that is sound. Sound is vibration. So when we hear things, it is a vibration that runs through our entire body. And I say this because if you've ever heard, say, someone that's just starting an instrument, maybe it's a horn or a violin or some kind of musical instrument, and they're just starting, it's sort of screeching and it's kind of hitting those notes that aren't really pleasant to the ear, or like nails on a chalkboard. It sends a wave of energy through us, right? That is uncomfortable. Comfortable sounds, comfortable vibrations, at least for me, would be nature sounds. Waterfalls, birds, just the critters, winds, the beach, the waves crashing, streams, those types of things. Those are soothing sounds. I don't think I've ever heard a meditation where there was screeching violins and screeching horns. That was soothing. But there's a lot of meditations with nature sounds on it, and that's why the sound has a vibration. Our voice, the sound of our voice has a vibration. So it is associated with sound. Now, I did a video back, it's probably been at least a year ago, so you'd have to look way back on the videos, but you can find it. I did a spell work using a singing bowl, a crystal singing bowl. And I do spell work with the singing bowls a lot for that reason. That vibration, that sound, and singing bowls are so healing, especially for the chakras. They just seem that singing bowls vibrate. When you play a singing bowl, they just sort of make this vibration, wah, 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 like this vibration. And you can feel it within your whole body. And all of the chakras just, they just align. It's a beautiful, beautiful form of chakra healing. If you ever get an opportunity to buy a singing bowl, we do sell them at the store, you should invest in it. And we do sell the metal bowls, which are less pricey. And there's some really good bowls, but nothing beats a crystal bowl. Oh my gosh, nothing beats a crystal bowl. So we have a couple of those, but they are pricey, and but well worth it. If you are working on chakras, if you're a healer, if you do Reiki, if you're a Reiki practitioner, etc., they're wonderful. So there is a video on singing bowls and spell work, something like that. I don't remember the title. And it was probably a year ago that I did it, or right in there. You can find it. It's the same theory. It's the same theory. That vibration is the same theory. All right. So the throat chakra is blue. Blue is the color that corresponds with the throat chakra. And when we talked about the other chakras, we talked about their elements like earth, air, fire, water, and that they were associated with those. Like the solar plexus was, it's yellow, its color is yellow, so it's that sun. The heart chakra is green or blue, but I'm sorry, green or pink, blue. Throat chakra is blue. Your heart chakra is green, typically, but some people do add pink to it for love, which is good because we need self-love. But green is earthy. So, but the blue, we think of sky. Think of the sky, blue skies, and so then that is ether. Okay, so that is what corresponds or is associated with the throat chakra. Now, when your throat chakra is, let's talk about when it's open first. When the throat chakra is open, you can be, you express yourself in a very authentic, truthful manner. Now, sometimes, and this is important to understand, the throat chakra is one of those chakras that gets blocked a lot or becomes unbalanced a lot, and this is why. We do not typically, there are some bullies out there, but typically we do not purposely want to hurt somebody's feelings. And a lot of times when we are truthful and we are being our authentic self, regardless of how kind, how soft-spoken, how sincere you might be in telling the truth to someone, it hurts their feelings. Might be for their own good, but nevertheless, it hurts their feelings, and we don't like that. We don't like to hurt people's feelings. So therefore, we don't express the truth, and we're not authentic with them. And not only does that, in the long run, hurt them, but it actually starts to unbalance and starts to block that throat chakra of your own, because you're not being authentic. So it's really good to express the truth regardless of what anybody else thinks, because it's your truth. They don't have to believe it, because that's their truth. They don't have to believe that. So it's only you. You are the only one that matters in your own truth and your own authenticity. And I can tell you from experience that I would say, this is just my own humble opinion, and from experience, I sincerely think that there are more people hurt or offended by one's truthfulness, one's authenticity, being truthful, than if you're not. People, you know what I mean? Because you keep those things within, and by keeping that stuff within, unbalance those chakras. But if you're trying to be truthful with somebody, they don't want to hear it, because either it's not their truth, it's not what they believe, or it hurts their feelings. So there's a fine line when it comes to that expressing. You should, because that's what's going to keep that throat chakra open. You should express, you should be honest and express your truth and be authentic. But you just have to understand that people, they have a hard time accepting that. But then you have to understand, then that's their journey. That's their journey. And I'm not saying express your truth. Oh, you look ugly today. Oh, that's a horrible outfit you're wearing. Oh, I don't like those glasses. Oh, what'd you do to your hair? I'm not talking about that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about your truth, who you are, your character, your character. Character is huge for me. And I would say over the past few years, and I have been really doing some heavy duty shadow work with this, the more I come into myself, the more I work on my shadow, the more I realize the unauthenticity of others, the untruths of others, and that is a reflection of their character. And I have had to cut ties with people, not because they didn't believe what I believed, or because they practiced something different, or they had different political beliefs, or religious beliefs, or whatever, because their true character, you can start to see that. And so therefore you can see that what you thought them being their true self with you truly was not. And so that is what their character is all about. And I've had to remove myself from some of that, because it becomes toxic to me. That energy is toxic to me. And it's very hard. It's very hard for me to do. But, and I know that it sounds selfish, but I cannot, that is not what I choose for my path, to have that kind of toxicity in my life. And some of those people, like, I still like them. I mean, I still like them. And I'm still working with shadow on that, because I like the memories that I had with them, but now I'm seeing that wasn't real. That wasn't real. That wasn't them being authentic. And over the past couple of years, I've seen some true character come out, and it's just not my journey. That's not my journey. So, so there you go. I prefer to be authentic, and I prefer to be express myself. You know, the truth, without worrying about what other people might think about that, because that will be on them. So anyway, okay. So that is when it's open, being authentic, being able to express your truth, that sort of thing. Now, when it's blocked, of course, it's just the opposite. It is being closed off to expressing yourself. It's being closed off to, some people have fears of talking in groups, or if there's a list, like just say the top 10 list of the majority of their fears, and talking in front of the public, talking like on a stage, is like one of the number one fears. People are so afraid to talk like public speaking is what it is, and they're afraid of that. And even in a small knit group, even if there's people if you have a hard time expressing yourself and talking in a tone, talking in a calm, talking in truth, talking with authenticity, then that is part of the throat chakra being blocked or being unaligned. Definitely not in balance. Let me just look real quick. Okay, so I'm not sure if I mentioned this in the other videos with the other chakras, and if I didn't, I apologize. I should have. But there's also, you can have a chakra that is overactive. And for me, the throat chakra, I work on all the time because I have a very overactive throat chakra. I'm a Gemini. I'm an air sign. So communication is fairly easy for me. It's fairly easy for me. I am not afraid to speak in front of public. I was called once to sit at a table and talk to people as they came up to the table for some information. But when I got there, it was me on a stage in front of like 150 people. And I didn't have any paperwork. I was not prepared. But I knew the topic that I was talking about. I knew why I was there. And I was like, sure. So I don't have a problem talking, that's for sure. That being said, my throat chakra, I am over chatty. I can't shut up. And I know this, and I own it. And there has been times when I will talk the pants off you. Seriously. There's times when I realize I am just so chatty, and I will apologize to the person and go, I'm so sorry, like I just totally took over this, and I'm sorry, I'm just so chatty, I can't stop. I don't know why I'm this way, but I don't know, I can't stop. I just always have to, and I start doing that. Like, I apologize for talking so much, and I just keep going. So I do work on my throat chakra, regardless of what my friends will tell you that know me, that know I am the talker of the group. I work on my throat chakra all the time. I do. I work on my throat chakra all the time because I know that I'm overly talkative. And yeah. Anyway, I have an overactive throat chakra, so I do work on that all the time. And that is what I'm going to be doing our spell work on today. And you'll see here in a minute. All right, real quickly, oils that help, essential oils that help with getting the throat chakra in alignment would be frankincense. Lang Lang is really good. Let me see, where's my oils? Oh, sandalwood is another one. And again, remember, caution to the wind with the essential oils. Don't put it directly on your skin. If it's 100% essential oil, even if it's not, you want to test that on your skin. 100% essential oil should be diluted with a carrier oil. Now, I prefer carrier oil. I prefer to use jojoba. The other oil I use is unscented sweet almond oil. I do not like the olive oils. I don't like safflower, sunflower. I don't like any of the other oils. They really smell like cooking to me, cooking oils. Even if you put your essential oil in there, it just smells like cooking oil. And those will cause your oils to become rancid fairly quickly. So will the sweet almond, the unscented sweet almond will as well. Pardon me. But the jojoba, not so much. It's really nice. I'm going to get my tea because we're going to talk about that here in just 1 second. Be right back. Okay, so real quick, this goes along with my tea, with our video. I'm going to make some tea while I do my spell work. And so what I did was I'm going to make, there's a tea called Throat Coat that I like to drink a lot when I'm teaching my classes. It's soothing on the throat, and anyway, so that's what I'm going to use. So what I'm going to do is I'm using, this is marshmallow root, and I've got my, this is my, excuse me, my half teaspoon. And I'm just going to use a half a teaspoon. I have the little muslin tea bags that I like to use because you can wash them out and reuse them, and I like that. And this is slippery elm, and it is kind of I don't know how you say it. It's like it's got little hair-like stringy things. So I want to make sure that that definitely doesn't get in my tea. And then I'm going to use licorice root and half a teaspoon of that. Put that right in there. And you end up with about the same size as a tea bag. So I'm just gonna close the top like that. I'm gonna put that in there. My tea, pour that right on there. Nice and hot. Put that right there. Hope I don't get burned. Oh, I'm gonna have to put it down here. And now I'm just gonna let that steep for a few minutes. Okay? So while that's steeping, put you back up here. I just wanted to show you that my tea, and it's very easy to make. And again, I like those little muslin pouches to put your loose tea in. You can use a tea strainer too, but I don't have any issues with those either per se, except it's metal, and sometimes, I don't know, metal, I just don't want to use metal. So those are great, and you can, I turn them inside out, put the used tea in my garden, sprinkle it right in the garden so there's no waste, rinse out my bag, let it dry, and it's ready for my next tea. Okay, so where were we? We were talking about the oils. Some of the herbs we were talking about, those are, they're actually, well, they're really not herbs. These are more like the foods. So blueberries, blackberries, elderberries, and the other fruit that I saw was pears and apples. And I thought that was odd, but when I looked at it, it said because fruit fruit won't fall from the tree until it's ready. And so that symbolizes authenticity. And so, again, real important for that throat chakra. You just take a sip because I got a tickle. Definitely not ready yet. Okay. Stones. The stones you can use are sodalite, turquoise, blue lace agate, which I really like, and any of your blue stones. So not stones like lapis. Lapis is actually considered, even though it looks blue, it's considered an indigo. So that would not be the right stone to use. I mean, you could if that's what you felt like you're using, you wanted to use, sure. So what I have here because I still have fire on my altar when I'm working, and this is just my work area that I'm doing. But this is a little tea light that I make, and it's blue with herbs for the that help with the throat chakra. Okay, so for the spell work, here we go. I have here, this is a crystal. A crystal wine glass. I'm going to move the camera down so that you can see. All right. Okay. So I have the crystal wine glass. Excuse me. And what I'm going to do is I have here, this is a blue tiger's eye. Now, it is a dark, dark blue, like a midnight blue. And in the light, it's really, really pretty. It has the sheen, just like tiger's eye or moonstone. You might be able to see a little bit of it there. I don't know. It's so dark. But I chose the blue tiger's eye because Wednesday, today is Monday, Wednesday is the new moon. Now, we can do a whole series, a whole video on that, talking about the moon if you want. I may have already done it at one time. I don't even remember. But I consider the new moon a dark moon, and that is when I do a lot of my spiritual work. I do a lot of spell work. I do a lot of devotional work. I do ritual that night, and I consider it the dark moon. And so the fact that we're doing throat chakra and the color is blue, I decided to use the blue tiger's eye. So what I'm going to do is, and the other thing that I did, I have my intention. I think some of you know that I write my intentions on brown paper bags because they're sort of natural, and this is, someone gave me this years ago. It's like a little foil thing, but it's a roll of natural paper, and I love it because I just roll it out and tear it like foil, and I can write my intentions or my petitions, whatever it is, right on it. And so that is what I've done, and I just fold it in half. I'm going to put that in the bottom of my glass. I'm going to take the blue tiger's eye, and I'm going to set that on top of my intention. Get on there. Okay, so it's on top of my intention. I hope that you can see that. There's the stone, and it's sitting right on top of my intention. All right, now here's the best part. This is some water from Laguna Beach, California, and most of you know that I am from Southern California, and Laguna Beach was one of my hangouts, and one of my good friends is from California that lives here. I met her here, and she went home to visit, And she brought me this jar of Laguna Beach ocean water. How cool is that? So as you can see, I've only used a little bit, and I'm only going to use a little bit today because I cherish this water. I absolutely cherish this water, but I'm using water because water is purification, and I am trying to, and water can be calm, but water can also be, enormous. We can have tsunamis and have these big waves. But I'm using it in the sense with my petition for balancing, for calming that throat chakra. Because like I said, this is the spell work that I'm doing here. I'm not going to tell you my words that I'm saying. I'm not going to tell you what my petition says. But I will tell you that it is about balancing and calming my throat chakra. So what I have here is I have a kombucha, however you say it, Sacred Life, but it came in. Oh, here's the front if you want to see it. It came in this really, I haven't taken the label off yet, but it came in this really awesome anniversary bottle, and I love the bottle. So this has distilled water in it, and it is going to be charged. Now, this is a little off. But I wanted to do this today because I won't be here Wednesday or Thursday. I'm going to take this water and I'm going to charge this water Wednesday night out under the dark moon. I'm pretending in my head that it's already been charged because I wanted to use this to show you. So let's pretend that this has already been charged under the dark moon. I have my petition and I have my stone, which is dark and shimmery, which is what I consider the moon to be. I have my crystal wine glass. I'm going to show you why in just a second. So then I'm going to take my charged moon water, and you don't have to do this on a dark moon. You can do it on a full moon. I'm doing mine Wednesday night on the dark moon. So what I'm going to do is probably set this out, or no, I'll probably just set it on my altar upstairs, but I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. But I'm going to pour some water in there from the dark moon, and then I'm going to take a little bit of my Laguna Beach water that my friend gave me, and I am just, I mean literally that much, because I do not want to waste it. But to me it's just extremely important to me. Whoa, almost threw you guys on the floor. I have nettle, because nettle is good for purification. So I'm going to take a pinch of nettle. I'm taking a pinch of nettle, and I'm just going to sprinkle it onto the water. I'm also going to use chamomile, because chamomile is for soothing and for calming. And I'm just taking a pinch of chamomile. Remember, guys, you don't have to use your entire bag. I mean, you just don't have to. I've seen people do some stuff that it's just, I mean, you can if you want to, but I think it's just wasteful to do that. If your recipe calls for it and that's what you want to do, then absolutely do that. But it's not necessary. All right, so there you go. Well, what's the big deal about that? Remember, we talked about vibration. Hold on, I'm going to turn my sound off. I don't even know if you can hear that. I'm going to turn that off, and I'm hoping that this will will do what I need it to do. I'm just going to leave the herbs right on top. I get my finger wet. Get it closer. Can you hear it? I can't hold it tight enough. It's vibrating and singing. And so that's really all there is to this. I would continue to do that, that singing, that vibration, until I feel that I've done it enough times. Maybe I will count. Maybe I will just do it until I feel that the energy is infused enough into my petition, my intention, which is all about balancing and calming that throat chakra and opening that throat chakra. I have the calming herbs in there, the chamomile, the nettle. Feel free to use whatever. You can lay them around the base if you want to. And some people might want to use just a doesn't sing real well doing that, but you have to get it fairly wet. You have to stay right on the rim. Okay? And that's just using the vibration, the sound that resonates. And that will be it. Now, there's another way that paper doesn't dissolve, but you can use a small, regular, a thin piece of paper, like maybe a tissue paper. And if you boil lemon juice, take a couple lemons, and pour it in a pan and boil the lemon juice. Use that in your bowl. You kind of have to mess with the paper. You have to stir it. It takes about 15 minutes. Sometimes it can take a half an hour. And oh, that is good. Ooh, that's good. And then the paper will dissolve. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let this sit like this for probably a couple of days. And well, definitely Wednesday, I'm going to take it and I'm going to charge my moon water Wednesday. So probably what I'm going to do is Thursday morning, I will add some of my moon water into this, and I'll go ahead and get it to sing again so that I can get the vibration going, and then I'll probably let it sit for a couple of days. And when I'm done, I might just scoop a little soil to aside and pour the whole thing in there. If my intention is still in there, I'll just bury that in the ground. I'm using the recycled brown paper, so it's not hurting the environment at all. And it's just water, and there you go. So that's the throat chakra. I don't have anything else to say. I did want to say one thing about this beach water. The fact that I come from California, and when I started thinking about, oh, you know what, I'm going to use that. I'm going to use the beach water. California is where my witch blood actually started to meet. I had to look at my note because I wrote it down. It's where my witch blood actually met my voice. That's when I came out, and that was well over 30 years ago. So yeah, I was only one. All right, guys, that's all I have for you. I'm sorry, again, it's a long video. It's really hard to talk a little bit about the chakra anyway, and then do the spell work. So I hope you enjoyed it. And remember, we are on chakra number 5, the throat chakra. So next week we will be working on chakra number 6. Okay. All right, guys, have a great week. Stay safe, and we will talk to you soon. Bye.